Hello, and welcome back. I'm frequently also known as Captain Klutz, and today I'm going to be going through the WorldPainter section of my tutorial, which should be the second part. So, first thing I'm going to do is just obviously launch WorldPainter. I'll come to this in a second. If you remember from last time in the first part of the tutorial, we used World Machine to make a basic outline for the world we want to make. I can't remember who requested, but they wanted a sort of spiky crown outside the island with a flat section in the middle. So I'm going to do that now if my world painter will ever launch. Here we go. So once you're in WorldPainter, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to import your height map, which you can find in File, Import Height Map. And then you'll want to find your terrain you made in World Machine. And then, once that's done, if you want to change the size of it, you can do that here. If you want to change, and here's a bit that's important actually. When I was making the world, I didn't actually make a note of this, so I'd better get that back. It told me where the waterline of the world was, so I'm just going to get that up now. And then if we go to the coastal overlay macro, we should be able to see that our water height was 42% of the way up our world. So that's what we're going to need to keep in mind when we change the parameters in WorldPainter. So we want to make the water level about 42% of the way up the world, which will be just going to try and do the maths in my head, but I can't. Going to be about here. There we go, and that looks familiar, doesn't it? Hopefully it does. Yep, that's pretty much spot on. And then if we press Ctrl 3, we can see a 3D preview of the world, and we can see actually that's a lot flatter than I was hoping it would be. So we might have to raise the bottom of the sea in order to raise the mountains. So I'm just going to do that again, just import the map again. There we go, that's a lot better. So now we've restored the sort of spiky terrain that we had in our world machine in WorldPainter. So if we look, however, we can see one big difference already is that one of them has cliffs and the other doesn't, and also one of them has beaches and this one doesn't. So that's the first thing we're going to do actually, we're going to make beaches. So what I normally do is I select bare sand, get my brush at 100%, and then just paint everything sand. So this makes the ocean bottom sand as well. And then I do at or above, and then I normally set this to about, well, let's go for 69 here. And then we're going to choose grass, and just fix that, and we can see now we've got very basic beaches, but the terrain looks very splotchy. So what I'm going to do now is, actually, let me check the request here. Rocky. Okay, so we want this actually to be rock rather than sand. So I'm just going to change that back quickly to just stone. Hopefully that's just stone. And we can see it's a bit splotchy, so now what we do with the brush is we just make it smaller, and we just, oh, my bad. We turn this off, and now we just tidy it up. And now we can see that's looking a lot better. So we've got our outer exterior rocky wall. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make our oasis in the center, which has to be sort of a lot smoother, a lot flatter. So for that, I'm going to get my brush, and I think I'm going to level out the terrain a bit. And then smoothen it out. Be careful not to smooth too much, otherwise it can potentially ruin your terrain. And there we have it. We've got this nice smoothed layer in this section here. And then, to put grass on the smooth area and the smooth area only, what we want to do is we want to select basically flat areas, which is very small degrees. Oop. It's going a bit outside where we want it to be. So, then we just work like this. So now we've got a good idea of where all the flat areas are, and then we just turn this off, and then we just do the same as when we made the beaches. We smooth it out, make it look a lot nicer, make it look all joined together like it's one large grassy patch. Get rid of this. Get rid of any outlying areas. Just make it look a whole lot nicer. And then we can make the bottom of the lake sand with a small sandy area surrounding it, and we can see what that looks like here. So I've got this tiny little oasis in a massive sort of almost volcanic landscape. So I'm not sure what exactly this needs, but it feels like it needs sort of some diversity. So perhaps we could, oh, hold on, let me fix this. We want a nice sort of continuous border all the way around this water. And there we go. Now we'll want to add some trees. So I'm just going to make small patches of sparse trees in areas I can see that are quite flat. And the last thing I want to do is I want to make the biomes. So I'm going to just show biomes, open my biomes window, put it in here. and we're going to want ocean only on water. So let's paint that in. And then we're going to want the sand the beach. Oh. Only on sand above 63, which is the water level. Then we're going to want only on stone for mountains. I guess extreme hills. There we go. Then we're going to want this section here to be only on grass. And we're going to want, I guess, forest for this. And then this center here, we are going to have as a river. Actually, that highlighted a bit of sand I missed. So I'm just going to fix that now. Yeah, and that's the biomes done. So we can hide it, we can show it. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I don't think so. All the rest of the stuff I need to do will probably just be in game. So I'm just going to preview it one last time. And yeah, I think that's where I want it to be with this in WorldPainter. I'll also be doing a short tutorial on how to generate worlds just using WorldPainter, which is where this will come in, which is, I'll also be linking in that video, which is a collection of brushes that I use. It's my personal favorites, which includes mountains, canyons, desert, miscellaneous, and cracks, which is, coincidentally, how I made, it's how I made the scathing rift one. That's how I made the cracks in the ground, and the mountains for that one, which was almost entirely in WorldPainter, because it was a unique request. Anyway, so I'll be seeing you in the next tutorial with touching up on your world in your Minecraft game. See you later.